Are you smoking? Didn't you know that cigarettes contain benzopyrene, a chemical that leads to lung cancer?
Yeah, so what? You know a lot about science, but you don't know how good a cigarette tastes in the morning.
Yo, what's up, gamers? What's up, Mona? What's up, Manga TCG? What's up, Dr. Delicate? Red Oobs. Speaking of Spider-Man, I just watched the new animated show. I really like that show a lot, actually. I thought about that with this Spider-Man news. I'm actually a big fan of that show. I'm excited for season 2. What's up, Leaf Blady? Leaf Blady. What's up, man? Let's just chit chat a little bit here until people hopefully get the alert, get the notif. How we all doing tonight? What's up, Jay Bradley? What's up, Maver? Homecoming is all right. I'm doing good. I been making good progress on my next video. It's probably going to be over 40 minutes. It's going to be the longest video I've done on the channel. I think Red Hood versus Nightwing was close, if I remember correctly. It was like maybe, I think, over 35 minutes. What's up, Nova Dream? Just started watching your vids recently. Love your live action Superman vid. Hey, thanks, man. You have a good one. Suit is probably my favorite besides Toby's. I think that's based. I love long form content. Nice. Yeah, if you're in the server, you know what I'm cooking up. Or you should. What's up, Aquafish? What'd you think of the Superman movie? Check out the DCU Experience podcast to find that out. Watch an episode or two after this stream. Really like the suit, but I wish the texture was screen printed and not flat. The colors are finally perfect. Some Spider-Man centered dude. Well, let's not get ahead of ourselves here, okay? I'd have to actually read Spider-Man. And I mean, Paul is gone. The Beast is dead. So maybe there's a chance, but I'm not going to be lulled into a false sense of security. That's not going to happen. Bat versus Cap, one of the longest? Oh, okay. Then yeah, you're probably right. This will be my longest one, though. Just finished, thought it was amazing. It's nowhere near as good as the first 3 seasons, which I think that's what we were all expecting. Or at least hoping for. I mean, that's the standard. Avoiding reading Spider-Man after like 1989? Yeah, that's probably safe. Sorry, haven't been to the live stream. Life happened. Just found out I might have lost my security job. Oh, I'm sorry about that, bro. Hope not. Fingers crossed. You'll bounce back. You'll bounce back. Yo, Dead Kev with the first dono. 5 buckaroonies. Thank you. I updated to Windows 11 because I'd rather not have an unsupported OS. So the snipping tool's different. Everything's kind of a little bit different. Thank you for the $5. You can't expect the show to match peak. I mean, maybe. I mean, it was a show, you know. I mean, it's possible. Is it canon in my heart? It's not terrible, but watching it after the first 3 is laughable. Yeah, I agree. Probably not with the canon part, but maybe, I don't know, heart canon. Thanks, bro. Love your videos. Hey, I appreciate that, man. But yeah, I'll talk about the suit for a little bit, and then maybe we can talk about the comics, because there's some Spider-Man comic news. But no, the suit's really good. The suit is really good. I am partial to it feeling the most like a costume as it can, and I mean that in the sense of it being homemade. So, you know, I think obviously none of the Spider-Man movies except Andrew's first suit, his prototype suit with the fucking red ski mask, that's like plausible for a person, but most of the other costumes aren't really. Like, maybe honestly probably even like Toby's prototype suit was out of the realm of possibility, how to get that logo on it. You know, that seems, I don't know, you have to make like a custom stencil, maybe spray paint it. Anyway, but I think the closer to homemade, I think it looks good. I think the colors look good. I do like the raised webbing a lot. I think raised webbing is just something that the Raimi suit, it just made a lot of sense. It was just a good idea to do for live action. And then there's also the fact that to this day, even with digital filming on digital, and even on film, just in general, like projecting film to a digital screen, reds kind of like bleed together. And so that's why they did the silver webbing in the Raimi suit, was so the red wouldn't just like bleed into itself. Like, it needed a defined pattern to stand out and make the segmentation of the web stick out. Because if it was like a more subtle like black line, like, you know, set in the fabric, then it wouldn't be as aesthetically pleasing. So I like the raised webbing. I think the logo is cool. I mean, it's basically the end of the No Way Home. It's basically that suit. We owe Sergeant Anthony. Thank you for the 20. What's good? Chatting it up here. A bit of a later stream than usual. Should be good. Thank you for the 20. As well as being a channel member. Appreciate you. But, yeah, the colors are good. It's definitely keeping in line with it being more inspired by the Raimi suit by Andrew's TASM 2 suit, as far as the colors, as far as the logos, which is cool. It is cool to think that at this point Tom Holland is sort of thematically kind of absorbed. I don't know what term you would use, the aura, the kind of those grittier characteristics of his other counterparts there. Obviously, the end of No Way Home was an homage to Spider-Man 2 and him getting his crappy apartment. That's something that we'd really only seen in the Raimi movies on film at that point. So no, yeah, it looks good. I thought that the first reveal, I'm like, Tom is looking kind of slim. And for all of these suits, every superhero costume, there is like a muscle suit, because they have not yet found a way to make Alex Ross fabric technology a possibility where it looks realistic and it still folds to all the contours of the human body and all of the muscles. So you just have to have a muscle suit. It looks like he was not. It looked like he was not wearing that in the little reveal, but the set photos look good. The set photos look like they have the muscle suit. Moving away from the tech suit, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, it is nice. There's none of the weird like segmentation, unnecessary lines that a lot of the MCU suits have used up until now. But yeah, Toby's the GOAT. Toby's the GOAT, always and forever. His suit is just the rawest. His suit's the coolest. He's got the best proportions. He looks like John Romita Sr. proportions. It is the most badass suit. The logo looks threatening. The eyes look threatening. But no, it is a good suit. But speaking of the Iron Man, the moving away from nanotech and all that, Kevin Feige said recently, he's like, at the end of No Way Home, he finally became a true Spider-Man. And that struck me because they're basically just admitting what so many people had been saying. There are so many people who, from Homecoming, from Far From Home, from, you know, even Civil War to some extent, even to, you know, Endgame, etc. This is not, it doesn't feel like Spider-Man. So many people acknowledge this is not what we want from Spider-Man. And there were a lot of defenders. You know, there are people saying, no, man, this is, you know, the AI is like his own internal narration, and he looks up to the Fantastic Four when he, you know, first started out and tried joining them. So they tried to cope, right? There was cope going around, but now there's just no cope. Now, No Way Home is just the most unapologetic, like, backtrack or 180. Like, we fucked up. Let's make this guy more like Toby. Let's give him a suit that's more evocative of Toby's. Let's give him an origin story. Let's finally give him like an Uncle Ben type death. Let's take away all the Iron Man powers and, you know, put him in a crappy apartment. So the fact that they're like, yeah, he's not a true Spider-Man. It's like, well, did you guys not consider to just, like, when they set out to make MCU Spider-Man, at no point did they think, let's do a true Spider-Man, actually. Like, they considered that, maybe, and then they're like, nah, we're not going to do that. We're going to do Iron Boy with no Uncle Ben, no tangible money problems. He goes to, like, some preps academy. No, like, comic accurate, like, friends or girlfriend or whatever. So there were flashes, like the end of Homecoming, I think, had the right idea, but it's also like you're just creating a problem. They created a problem perpetually by trying to hitch Spider-Man's wagon to Iron Man. It was not a good idea, in my opinion. I think they realized that. And I get that, Ricardo. I understand. But now there's two ways to look at it. You can either look at it in a positive light and say, finally, they're giving the fans what they wanted. Yo, Villa, thank you, bro. You can start the stream now. Hey, thanks, man. Thanks, bro. Stream has now begun, guys. Everything before, I was just talking to my ass, but now this is real. These are real Villo hours now. We're in the end game now. Thank you, Villo. As per usual. Thank you, man. But everybody, Villo dubs in the chat. Like his comment. He's a GOAT. He's a hero. But yeah, so I just didn't feel it. I didn't feel it. I think Homecoming had the right idea, but like I said, they just created a problem. And they're like, by the third act, we're going to try to solve it. But then the MCU is so, like, I honestly think, like, looking back on it, It was uncoordinated in a lot of ways. I think if you look at Thor's arc, if you look at Hulk's arc, if you look at Spider-Man's arc, it's like by the end of Thor Ragnarok, he realizes he doesn't need his hammer. He's the king of Asgard, etc. He's got his eye patch to symbolize his sort of evolution into Odin's role, which was foreshadowed since the first movie. One of the two brothers would become king. And then by Infinity War, the next movie, he loses the eye patch, realizes he needs a weapon, and then becomes a loser. And you can like that arc for whatever it's worth, like the Endgame arc, but you can't deny that nothing in Ragnarok set that up. It was clearly thematically counterintuitive. The arc from Ragnarok to Infinity War and Endgame, and then it's the same with Spider-Man. Spider-Man Homecoming, I don't need the suit. I want to be a friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. And then he rejects the Iron Spider, but then he gets the Iron Spider anyway in the next appearance. And then the next appearance after Endgame, he is like, I'm supposed to be the new Iron Man, and now that's the theme of the movie, is now you're the new Iron Man. And then No Way Home is like, that was fucking stupid. You shouldn't be the new Iron Man. You can't be the new Iron Man. Peter Parker's not Iron Man. Peter Parker can't reveal himself to the world. He can't have his identity revealed like Iron Man did willingly. Like, that's not, like, Peter Parker does not want to willingly reveal his identity. And so if it's taken from him, if that is taken from him, then he can't put up with it, you know? So it's the same thing. And it's like, okay, we had Civil War in a limited capacity, obviously. And I think he is at his best in Civil War, honestly. So Civil War, Homecoming, Infinity War, Endgame, Far From Home, No Way Home. That's 6 appearances of this Spider-Man. That's, well, except for No Way Home. Up until No Way Home, that was twice as many appearances as Tobey. He's been in twice as many movies as Tobey. And it's like, okay, now he's a quote-unquote true Spider-Man. Like, they're acknowledging that Tobey was the true Spider-Man. And Tom Holland was not that until, I guess, this movie, until the very end of No Way Home. Now he's a true Spider-Man in that he checks all the boxes of the archetype from which fans desire. You know, fans want to see him be broke, him have a secret identity, no nanotech, power armor. Nobody wanted that. So it's like, okay, are we finally going to get a Spider-Man movie? But then, you know, Villo mentioned Punisher and Hulk. Punisher I'm fine with because it's annoying. Hulk should not be in this movie. I don't care about power levels in that sense. I do think that would... First of all, it's Nerd Hulk. It's Nerd Hulk, so who cares, bro? It's hipster... coffee shop tattoo man bun Hulk. It's dabbing breakfast burrito Hulk. Who cares? I hope Punisher kicks his ass with a billy club or some brass knuckles. But I don't care about Punisher. But with Hulk, it's annoying. We had Iron Man in Homecoming. We had the shadow of Iron Man in Far From Home. Happy Hogan. And then No Way Home, we had Doctor Strange. They just want to inject these bigger, I guess, I don't know what it is. I don't know if they're not confident in Spider-Man as a brand, because Spider-Man and Hulk, that's not interesting. I know they have like somewhat of a dynamic, like Hulk kind of likes Spider-Man or whatever in the comics, but that's not... out of all the characters in the entire MCU that we could put in a Spider-Man movie where he's now finally the quote-unquote true Spider-Man. Quote-unquote true Spider-Man, I don't want to see Nerd Hulk. That's not my first, second, third, fourth, fifth down the line choice of Marvel characters. Punisher, it's fine, it's whatever, but I don't know. Hulk is annoying. Hulk, this Hulk, they've totally ruined. They totally ruined it. They totally ruined it. I have looked into the Sony angle, the Sony, like what are their contingencies, what are the qualities of their current deal, and I don't think there's a mandate. I don't think that's true. How do we know it's Nerd Hulk? Where have you been since Endgame, man? Where have you been? Have you seen the script? Do you know anything to suggest that he stops being Nerd Hulk? Or is literally everything that we have up until this point prove and point to it being Nerd Hulk? I mean, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say to that. Yeah, they never talked. They went to Tony's funeral. They fought in the Endgame battle, but yeah, they never spoke. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, out of all the characters, I'd rather see MCU Spider-Man interact with, the ones that aren't like dead or whatever. Like, I think it's a shame that Steve Rogers and Spider-Man interacted so little in the MCU. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, honestly, Daredevil, I would have preferred Daredevil to Punisher. I hope Marvel will listen to the fans. This hopium, it's not warranted, bro. It's just not warranted. Like, I don't even know if I'm going to see this movie at release, to be honest. Because Marvel is flopped, bro. Marvel is a flop right now. They had their biggest L in the Marvels. Deadpool and Wolverine was only successful because it's another franchise. That's not an MCU movie. I'm sorry. That's Deadpool 3. It's got Hugh Jackman Wolverine in it. It's a Ryan Reynolds production. It doesn't really have any of the shared DNA of the rest of the MCU. Just doesn't count. It just doesn't count. And then Captain Marvel, they threw probably their best trilogy in the toilet. The Captain America trilogy was probably it probably is the best MCU trilogy, and they threw it in the toilet. And Thunderbolts flopped. Fantastic Four is flopping. So I don't care. Like I can't get super excited. I want the movie to be good, obviously. I'd rather watch good movies, but it's I don't know. I'm like, yeah, the costume, it looks like Spider-Man. Is that too much to ask? Is it too much to ask? Like, it's going to be 11 years since Spider-Man first appeared, and now he looks like Spider-Man. He doesn't have a bunch of shitty black lines all over his suit, and he's not wearing nanotech. Like, people are getting hyped that Spider-Man looks like Spider-Man, and I'm just like, yeah, it'll be 11 fucking years. It's been 11 years since Tom Holland got cast, more or less. So, Thunderbolts sucked. Thunderbolts was trash. I've not seen Fantastic Four. I hate Thunderbolts. Movie sucks. Yeah, Superman. I saw Superman for a third time. A couple of days ago, I saw it for a third time. I saw it in IMAX, standard def, and then I saw it in 3D. What's up, Seeing Red? Seeing Red's what I say when Villo donates. Honestly, that might be a more apt username for Villo at this point. Seeing Red, you gotta earn the username. See, I don't care about the sleeves. I don't even care like that Spider-Man looked like whatever I thought the Homecoming suit's fine. I don't really give a fuck about these costumes that these characters are wearing. Like, there can be bad ones, but generally I don't really care. If it looks like the character, I'm on board. And obviously that's subjective, but I don't care about that. But by the same measure, the fact that he looks like Spider-Man now, finally, I'm like, what's going on? You know? Like, am I in another universe? Did I go through a portal? Like, the suit is good in the sense, I don't know. How many times can I say it? Yay, Spider-Man looks like Spider-Man. I don't know. But I hope it's good. Yeah, I did see the Titans news. He said, like, yeah, no, No one knows. 4 people on Earth know anything about the Titans movie, so. But yeah. I haven't seen Fantastic Four. I'm gonna wait for it to go on Disney Plus, I guess. I think what Marvel needs to do, because they're just wasting money they wasted money on Eternals. With Marvels, it's like that movie sucked, so they should have been like, this is sucking, let's not do this. But at least the first movie made $1 billion because it was sandwiched between Avengers movies, so it made $1 billion, so that warrants a sequel, obviously, just no duh. But yeah, exactly, Ricardo, exactly. But I lost my train of thought. Oh, so they waste money on Eternals and these movies that are like very niche, and they're just burning all their goodwill with Captain America 4. With these flops. What they need to do is just trim the fat and just do what works, okay? If Daredevil season, because Daredevil is proven to be a profitable Marvel show. 3 seasons prove that. 4 if you count the Defenders. So you can do more Daredevil TV. I think the word on the street and what they want us to believe is that season 2 of Born Again is going to be, amazing. It's going to be a return to form. Do Deadpool, do Wolverine movies. I don't have faith that they can successfully reboot the X-Men. I don't. And the fact that they're protracting that ability by keeping the Fox cast around, like we're going to be in Secret Wars Doomsday with 99-year-old Magneto. Like they're hurting their chances to effectively reboot the X-Men by keeping the Fox era alive. But at the same time, that's profitable. That, like, when Deadpool and Wolverine did as well as it did, that just greenlit their agenda to keep the Fox movies going, essentially. So Daredevil, I guess Hugh Jackman and Deadpool, that's just a given. And then Doctor Strange did well. Black Panther, I think, can still work as a franchise. I'm not confident in, like, they're gonna do, and I'm not confident because they don't seem confident. They're gonna age up T'Challa Jr. or something because they're not confident in Shuri. That movie made less than the first movie, Black Panther 2. But you can keep that going. And then just cut all the rest of this crap. Why is there an Ironheart show? Why is there a She-Hulk show? Has anyone stopped to ask themselves, why are we doing this? Why are we spending millions of dollars on, like, an Ironheart show? I just don't get it. And I understand sometimes they have to take risks, but they're not working out for them. It's just not working. They've taken plenty of risks at this point with the Disney Plus slate, the push for Disney Plus shows, the attempt to synergize with the movies. It did not work out. It's not working out for Marvel. And to some extent, assessing the finances of a movie, assessing the box office success, it is important to these companies that chase the dollar. Like, if you love Thunderbolts, if you loved that movie, that's your favorite movie in the world, they're probably not going to make any more movies like that, man. Because that movie flopped. It was a big bomb. Because the Disney Plus shows did not make well enough. A sequel to Black Widow with Disney Plus characters was not enough to say these guys are the new Avengers. Did you see New Avengers? There's a new Avengers movie out. Yeah, it's called New Avengers. Who's in it? Black Widow's sister from that one of the worst MCU movies. And then a couple of guys that you've probably never heard of because they're on Disney Plus. So it was so good. Turn it off after 15 minutes. Yeah, it's like, it's a combination of they don't have the skill. And then it's just also the fact, man, that they have to shelve these concepts. I think they need to focus on what they've done lately that works. And just cut the crap, man. Just stop. Stop. Like, James Gunn managed to make the Guardians a household name. Whoever's left there can't do it with She-Hulk, can't do it with Ironheart. It's just not happening. Can't do it with US Agent. And I thought US Agent was cool. I think he's cool in Thunderbolts. I just don't really like that movie. But there's some things that are cool about it. I just don't think it flows well. I don't think the team becoming a team is believable. And I think the exploration of the themes are too shallow, and the solution they offer is too shallow that it's insulting, because I think, like, tackling depression in a way where the movie is suggesting you hang out with people that are constantly taking the piss out of each other and never really become friends in the whole movie. But then all of a sudden in the third act, they like hug, and that's the solution to childhood abuse and like suicidal tendencies. To me, I was like, I don't know. I don't applaud Marvel for trying to tackle a heavy subject and failing, because at the end of the day, it's still an MCU movie. It doesn't have the depth of the highest caliber, the highest brow superhero movies, much less an actual honest to God film. So that's how I feel about that. I also think some of the pacing is bad in that movie. I think there's boring parts of that movie. And the lineup is kind of lame. Like, Ghost is lame, has nothing to do. And Red Guardian is annoying. Red Guardian just pisses me off, man. He just pisses me off. So yeah. Marvel's in a state. But Superman's doing really well. Peacemaker 2 is on the way. Any power scaling questions, guys? Do see some donos. If you give me like $1, I'll give you an assessment. But if you give me like 20, you'll get some serious answers. And if you want to support the channel, become a channel member. The link is in the description of all my streams. You become a channel member, join the Discord, and you basically have carte blanche to just chat up with me at any point about whatever power scaling. I'll send scans. It is what it is, you know. Oh my god. LOL. Nah, man. Thanks for the $4. Thanks for the $4. LOL. Thanks for the $4. How would DCU Lex fare against the other live-action Superman? I mean, it would come down basically to Ultraman and the Engineer versus I guess Henry Cavill. I mean, I made the video ranking the different Supermen. So that's basically the bottom line. Like, I think Ultraman and Engineer are weaker than that Superman. So if that Superman is weaker than another Superman, then by extension those characters would lose. Like, maybe Lex. If there wasn't someone like Mr. Terrific, Lex might destroy the world. Like, it depends on, does Lex and Luthor Core teleport to, say, like, the Snyderverse? Because there's probably no one smart enough there to disable the black hole or whatever. The portals. But if like Henry Cavill is in that universe, then maybe. Do you think the Engineer could beat the Man of Steel Kryptonians? Yeah, I mean, the Man of Steel Kryptonians aren't even that strong. Like, Superman gets a lot stronger after that movie. And if he wanted to kill Zod or any of them, he could just snap their necks. You know, I don't need to explain that, I don't think. There is, like, the Flash. Like, if you say Aquaman relative to Wonder Woman, Wonder Woman relative to BVS, Superman, Flash in the Snyder Cut, which is canon to the Flash movie, he like knocks down Aquaman while Aquaman is like mid-attack. So if you want to say like Flash, you know, and then Flash can't beat presumably Man of Steel Zod, then Zod would still scale to like BVS era, but the fact is that Zod is different, that timeline is different than the DC EU proper. $20 from Wilmer, thank you. Winter Soldier versus MGS2 Raiden. I like this question. Winter Soldier, I'm trying to think. I'm assuming, do you mean MCU or comics? Try to let's specify MCU or comics. I know the MCU a lot more than I do the comics when it comes to Winter Soldier. All I know basically about Winter Soldier in the comics is he's just weaker than Steve Rogers. But as far as the MCU, I definitely think Bucky at least scales to the amount of energy Iron Man survived when Sokovia blew up. I think that's like town level, roughly, maybe large town. Even if we say it's large town, we could go with MCU. Okay. So even if we go with large town, I think Bucky scales to that just based on the fact that he can damage Iron Man's armor in Civil War. I know some people say it's like a non-combative suit or whatever, but I just don't think, I think whatever that means, like that could be true or not, but I don't think that means, it would just make no sense to say that Tony would ever wear a less durable armor than what he can create, right? That just doesn't make any sense. So he definitely scales to that at least. I'm trying to think. I mean, there's really nothing that Bucky's done outside of that. You know, he shot some Outriders. He fought John Walker, was basically like weaker than him in a 1v1. And then he got completely destroyed by Sentry, obviously. No shame there. But with Raiden and MGS2, it is interesting. I mean, definitely, I think by the time he has the HF blade, it's kind of just wraps. Like the Dura negation based on Rising is just too good. It's basically beyond almost anything in the MCU. Certainly above like Street Tiers by far. So yeah, no, I think with the HF blade, it's kind of irrelevant. It basically comes down to speed at that point. And they should roughly be equal. I don't really think it's consistent to apply MFTL to the MCU at this point. Like maybe some characters have that travel speed, but yeah, I think they could easily be relative, like dodging lasers, like in the relativistic tier, because there are some anti-feats still. Like the Thunderbolts still use fucking handguns. You know, they still use handguns in, what is this, phase 6 or something we're in? Phase 5 or 6. So, that says a lot. Like, what was it? Was it Ghost? Or no, it was Taskmaster just got shot in the face, right? So, I mean, that's like a Bucky tier fighter, basically. So, I don't know if they're dodging MFTL, Photon Blast, or whatever at this point. But, you know, Raiden definitely massively hypersonic calcs. He can react to multiple assault rifles at once. Solid Snake in the very first game was reacting to lasers. So yeah, I think speed at that point is relative, and then Raiden, even without like scaling attack potency and durability, he would just cut his head off, or cut his arm off, or cut any part of him off. But I mean, durability wise, it's interesting. I mean, really, The Solidus fight should just be indicative of stats because both of their suits are resistant to HF blades. So at that point, they should genuinely just be like sword clashing and shit. So at that point, I mean, Solidus definitely should probably scale to like the Psycho Mantis stuff. Psycho Mantis can create natural disasters. Well, psychics in Metal Gear can create natural disasters, and Psycho Mantis is the most powerful psychokinetic in the world. So when you think of natural disasters, you're thinking of earthquakes, you're thinking of tsunamis, all of that stuff would put Raiden, would put Solidus in that same in that tier of like, I mean, certainly above Large Town. If you look at like tsunamis and stuff. Psycho Mantis. Exactly. But thank you for the $20. I hope that was a thorough enough answer. Do you think DC Superman can speed blitz? I mean, maybe, bro. I don't know. You know, it's interesting as far as speed because people were talking about that. You know, I've seen a little bit of conversations regarding like Alexa's squad were reacting to Superman and Ultraman fighting, but I mean, whenever I think about it, I'm like, okay, this Lex Luthor guy recreated the Big Bang. I think it's probably fair to say his tech is like predicting what they're doing, or it just got fast enough sensors to pick that up. Like, so I don't know. I mean, I think they probably are just genuinely that speed, and there's not too many anti-feats at this point. Obviously, I mean, there's like one movie, but it's yet to be seen. I mean, I definitely think the case is solid right now for MFTL. Guy Gardner has he stated to have interstellar travel speed with his ring, so. Common Rider, thank you for being a channel member. Thank you for the $2. Who are the top 10 smartest people in DC Comics? Well, the DC book, literally called the DC book, has a chart of the smartest people in DC. It's not so much like a linear chart. Like, it's not like, oh, this is the 10th smartest guy. But let me see. It's either the DC book or the DC list of DC book of lists. Let me check that out. That might be it. Let's see. I'll try to find it. Let me see here. I know Hugo Strange is listed as one of them. Let me see if it's on Google. If the scan from this book is on Google. Yeah, here we go. So, at the center of it is Lex Luthor. I think Lex Luthor is the smartest. I think, well, it depends who you ask. So, Tom King and Jeff Johns would say Mr. Terrific is the smartest. And then it would go Lex Luthor, then it would go Batman. On this guide, though, Lex Luthor is at the center, and then sort of branching out from him. The closest rung to him has Tio Morrow, Faye Veritas, Niles Calder, and then Michael Holt. Then the next tier below them, Ray Palmer, Ultra Humanite, Heinrich Megala, Hugo Strange, Thaddeus Savannah, Ryan Choi, and I think I said Ray Palmer. Then the final tier there, Martin Stein, Will Magnus, Ted Cord, The Brain, Hero, Scamaru, Simon Stagg, Kirk Langstrom, and Walter Haley. So I don't know if that's 10, but that's the official ranking. Batman's not on it. None of the Robins are on it. So take it or leave it. Thank you for the $2. Thank you for being a channel member. No, Batman's not the smartest. Batman's not even the best detective in DC. At this point, it's probably Detective Chimp, unironically. I think Batman is always going to have the, like, world's greatest detective moniker. But I think at this point, that's in the same breath as, like, when Barry Allen and Wally West are both the Flash, both of them are just called the fastest man alive, even though, obviously, one of them has to be faster. But Barry just retains that title, you know? He just shares it with Wally, despite there being a pretty noticeable gap between the two. Remember the brain is because of Teen Titans? Yeah. Red Oops, thank you for the $2. Let me put you on the screen. Put you on Lay Screenerino. DCU Superman versus MCU Thor Ragnarok Infinity War. So I made a video ranking the live action Superman. So in there you can check out the Superman scaling there. For $2, I'm not going to reiterate all of that. But at this point, it kind of just comes down to, do you actually think MCU Thor is planet level yet? And I'd probably say no. I'd probably say he is not yet planet level. I don't think MCU Thor is planet level, so I think DCU Superman is planet level based on everything that's in the movie, and MCU Thor, I don't think it's planet level now. I definitely don't think he was planet in Infinity War. Seeing red, let's cover the screen, boys. I agree. That's a good point. World's greatest man detective, maybe. Is the engineer physically stronger than the Kryptonians for her getting the win, or her nanites? Probably her nanites. Probably the nanites. So it's not the full force of a sun. People have calced that from anywhere from, like, island to country level, but it's not star level. Yeah, it's been calced to death. That feat is like one of the most combed over feats I've ever seen. Wilmer Sanchez again with the 20. Thank you, bro. Keep the Metal Gear questions coming. I'm gonna do a Metal Gear video when the remake comes out. I'll send you the calc manga TCG. I'll send it to you in the server. We'll talk about it. Yeah, thank you, Wilmer. Thank you for the donos. MGS3 Big Boss versus Captain America MCU. Base cap again. I think the best you can do is the Sokovia feat, like Iron Man's amount that he tanked there. And for $20, let me bring up the exact numbers here. You've donated $40 now. So Iron Man's portion, small town. So Iron Man withstood small town levels of energy when Sokovia exploded. When Thor smashed Sokovia. So I think that's honestly the best you can get base Captain America. Whereas in MGS3 is the weakest point in the franchise. It's just the bedrock for the power scaling. Honestly, bro, I don't think anyone in that game is stronger than, like, City Block. So I hate to say it. I don't know. Like, Big Boss gets a lot stronger later. Big Boss is like a mutant freak who, like, constantly trains. And he doesn't even really become Big Boss until the very end of MGS3. But No, I think Cap honestly does win. But Peace Walker, Ground Zeroes, those big bosses, that point in his life, it's a total stomp. It's a total stomp. He would need the hammer to fight Peace Walker, big boss. But no, the fact is, man, the best feat in MGS3 is like Volgan's lightning. That's the best thing in that game, and then I think the characters just get a lot stronger after that. Like even Portable Ops, it's like big boss just dominates somebody with like precog, teleportation, genetically engineered to be better than the boss in every way. MGS3 is like my top three favorite games ever. So yeah, I'm gonna get the remake on day one. Heart to Heart Crisis, I first found you back in like 2021, fresh after playing Metal Gear Rising: Revenge, and thinking Raiden was the strongest character in the verse. In your ranking video, Loki got me fumed, but I get it now. Hey man, thank you, bro. That's good to hear. No, I don't care about that NA55. I don't care. My next video, I hope you enjoy it. Next video will be the longest video. It's another Bat family member. It'll be good. Big Boss is able to take on the radiation and nuke. Yeah. That's true. Multiple times. LOL. Yeah, Raiden, it's an interesting thing, right? Because it's like a matter of presentation, you know? I don't know. It's like, if you look at, like, I'll say this, a lot of people, they're wrong, but a lot of people would say that A Link to the Past Link is the most powerful one. And he's like a 16-bit little goober. Like, he's like a pink-haired little goober. Whereas, like, every Link following that is probably just more badass per being, like, 3D. And, you know, it just has better visual effects. So, a lot of people look at it that way. So I think for whatever reason, Metal Gear Rising kind of has the opposite effect, but in reality, Snake sneaking around is just stronger. It is what it is. A guy swinging a sword. Crisis Comics Studios. I'm thinking of, like, I don't know, maybe I need like a little border on my videos or something. I'm trying to think of, because there'll be a lot of like cartoon footage in this. And I've been lucky as far as like copyright, knock on wood. But the Rocky videos got claimed like pretty late into those already being out there, and I was able to beat the claims. I was able to fight those pretty quickly and get monetization back on the Rocky videos. But I use cartoons and animation pretty frequently already. But because the video is a lot longer, there's a lot more animation. So, yeah, I'm thinking of maybe a border, because I think a border will help kind of mask the animation, but it probably won't be a big deal anyway. Yeah, exactly, manga. I mean, I think my video, there's not going to be a competition. It just isn't. Nobody's read what I've read. Nobody knows. Nobody's done it. Nobody can do it. It is what it is. Nobody can make a pro Batman argument that I haven't heard before. Nobody can do that. That's just a fact. And that video, I mean, I'm really happy with how it turned out. It's got over 100,000 views. That's just really good. That video in particular, obviously, I'm happy that video did as well as it did, and it's still kind of creeping up there, so might get 110K. You never know, but it was a slow burner too. It was kind of sitting around, I want to say like 40K for a while, but then it just blew up out of nowhere, which, you know, that's why I'll probably leave the Red Hood video up. I'll probably leave that up and see just how it does. Because you never know. The Superman video, I'd like that to get a little bit more. I at least want to get that above, you know, my sub count. That would be nice. That's a good sign. But the Nightwing versus Daredevil video did well. The Rocky versus Real Fighters, that was a really fun one to make. That one did well. And I think this next video will do really well. I'm looking forward to this. It was a lot of fun to make. It's fun to edit as well. So Red Slander's ageless. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, I'll probably leave that video up regardless because somebody paid me $300 to make it. Werewolf. He's in the chat. He's in the Discord server. He paid me $300. So the video already, it paid for itself regardless. I mean, that video did not take a lot of effort or time to make because I just scale the Bat Family in my free time anyway, so it didn't take a lot of work to string that together. Nah, that's true. Yeah, if the Superman video gets a second life like the Nightwing video did, then it will be that much better, yeah. Under the Red Hood is a good movie, but once you realize that's the only good Red Hood story, it can be pretty blackpilling. You take videos down after a while. If they don't find an audience fast enough, it actually does hurt my channel to leave them up because it's you wouldn't imagine it would be conducive. You would imagine YouTube would look at a channel with like less views and they would like use the algorithm to try to leverage it so it's more successful. But if enough videos have like low viewership, obviously everything's relative, but if there's enough of them, then YouTube would be like, oh, so this is like a 3K, 4K view video channel, and it'll kind of just slot that into a you know, a category there. So putting them unlisted works out because if you become a channel member, you can check out all those videos. All my videos are archived in the Discord server. So it kind of works both ways. As like I get to make the video, it's up. It seems to have already garnered as much AdSense as possible, and then if you want to support the channel, it's kind of a bonus after that. You know, where'd that video go? Oh, it's in the archive Discord channel. Hella busy that night. No, you know what, man? It is what it is, and there'll be plenty of Joker laughs in the future that you can sit in on. Yeah, you do video requests for 300. So I mean, I'm not partial to turning down $300, but it was a video that I'm like, yeah, I can make this. B, I think it's true. Like everything in that video is true, and I think people deserve to hear the truth. What can I say? And then yeah, Like if you you can't pay me 300 to do a Batman Beats Nightwing video. I would not do that for 300. So I'm not gonna do like something I just think is incorrect for 300. Maybe for like $1,000 I would do that. For $1,000, and I would say, listen, I don't believe this, but here are the best arguments. Thank you, Wilmer. So yeah, you guys now can the way to get in the server is click my channel, and then on my channel dashboard there's home, video, shorts, live, playlists, and then posts. If you go to posts and then filter visibility by all channel members, in fact, I'll go ahead and since I've been posting a little bit on my channel tab, I'll go ahead and post the invite. So I just posted there on my posts section in on my channel the link to the Discord, so all the new channel members can hop in. Thank you for that, Wilmer. Yeah, shout out. 300 for Gogeta above Vegito. I feel like, I don't know, someone asked about the Goku Batman. I think it's a good video. I think it was a good video idea. I just don't know if Dragon Ball is good for my channel. And there's plenty of Dragon Ball. There's plenty of Dragon Ball YouTubers. It's probably best that I focus on what my audience wants at this point. Like sometimes you just have to listen. Like my audience doesn't seem that into Dragon Ball, at least not compared to like, you know, the DC characters or Metal Gear Solid. So, but if you paid me 300, I probably would make the video. I would probably just have it unlisted or something. It would be like a Discord exclusive. Like some people do like Patreon exclusive videos. I would probably just do that. If you paid me 300, I'd probably make whatever, honestly, and I would just have it be a Discord exclusive so you guys could enjoy that, the channel members. What's an even bigger lie than Nightwing? Wait. What do you mean by that? Hold on a second. Aquafish, I'd appreciate that. How many videos are archived? I don't know. I am not a TikTok scaler, no. I have a TikTok account. I post like 3 things to it, but I'm too lazy. Do you think Ben 10? There are plenty of Ben 10 power skillers already. I think at this point, my niche is like obviously DC, Marvel to some extent. And then every once in a while, maybe I can make like a Zelda video. Zelda's kind of dead right now, but every once in a while I can make a Zelda video. I want to do more like swapping pro tags and put them in different situations, you know, from like other franchises. But yeah, that's my niche at this point, is like Marvel, DC, Metal Gear, and a little bit of Star Wars here and there. But Star Wars is also just kind of dried out. Like my desire, my, like, I don't know, even just the franchise itself. But Rocky as well. I feel like I've said everything there maybe like is to say about Rocky. He's not really a character conducive to many like versus fights. The inverse is kind of like stagnant. Like maybe if Creed 4 comes out, I can talk about that. This is the video. This is the music, Seeing Red. I'll just put the link in the chat. That's the music that we're listening to. Wanda. You want a power scale? Not off the top of my head. Do you think Link can lift Thor's hammer? Probably. Some videos are privated. My privated videos, I mean, I guess I could switch those to unlisted. I don't really care. But those are like what ifs from years ago. But yeah. No, the Link Elden Ring video is good. That is a good one. That was fun to make. I'm glad that did so well. Yeah, kind of like that trend, but obviously my own spin on it. I have one particular scenario that I really want to do. It might be time here soon. It might be like next month. I'll have to put that video out. Link does kill for good, yeah. Who is Nightwing's nemesis? Deathstroke. Slade Wilson. We got some new recruits in the Discord server. Very nice to see. Welcome, Josh. Welcome, Josh is here. Hey, everyone, Josh is here. Thank you, Sergeant Anthony, for the 20. Thanks for stopping by. You have a good one, man. Yeah, it's cringe. Deathstroke can fight other characters. I don't think that's a big deal, but he's not a Batman nemesis. Or, like, rival or whatever. Arch nemesis. Like, obviously, Nightwing's fought, like, other heroes' villains before. I don't think it's that big a deal. Yep. Everybody wish well to Sergeant Anthony. I haven't thought about Wanda scaling in a while since she died. Quote unquote. I hope she is dead. I don't know. I hope she is dead, but she will come back. So I hope she comes back from the dead, not was never dead, you know? Because Wanda fans do be annoying. She's not dead. Like, she can be dead. Let's have her be dead. We can all agree. We need a purple dono. I'm starting to get... I'm sweating here, man. I'm sweating. I need a purple dono. We have blues, oranges, greens. We got a red. Where is a purple? Can we get a purple dono? I see purple on the little level thing, the little crowns, the ranking. Let's do something about the lack of a purple dono. Which comic was it where Nightwing fought off a bunch of villains and was like, no superpowers, just skill? I talked about that issue the other day. It's one of my favorite issues. I think that's a Nightwing Rebirth 24. I was just talking about that issue. Let me scroll. Let me scroll. I think I put that in the Marvel DC chat. Let me see. Yeah. Rebirth Nightwing 24. He's on a submarine. He's got to fight. He fights like 2 Superman villains, Green Arrow villain. Like all in a gauntlet. Kid Amazo. That's all pretty cool. Seeing Red. Thank you for being a channel member for 4 months. You know, I've been waiting to get into a VC with you again, bro, because I wanted to say you're like incredulous. When you act incredulous, You're like, what does that mean? The voice you do cracks me up, bro. I actually think about that. I'm actually like, damn, that's funny. Like, I just want to get you tilted, bro, because that shit's funny, man. What do you mean? NA55, thank you for the 20. I appreciate that, man. I have the best fans in the world. It actually does. It humbles me. You guys humble me. It actually does affect me a lot to just to see how nice you guys can be. Seeing red is pretty funny. Let me see. What are you talking about? Yeah, exactly. Let me see. Let me see what the next movie is supposed to be. Let me check the poll. What was the top 3? Or like the third most highest movie. Let me see. Superman. Well, Superman, Batman, Public Enemies. Okay. You know what? Let's do, because Return of the Joker, a lot of these are ties. That's really annoying. And a lot of these no one voted for. So I don't know what I'm going to do. I'll probably just... Okay. I think Return of the Joker I want to do next. If you know, you know. And then... I guess... Superman, Batman, Public Enemies, because that tied... That tied with Superman versus the Elite and Return of the Joker. And then I'll have to do different polls for the rest of the movies that only got 1 vote each. But yeah, I guess next we're going to watch Return of the Joker. Which that movie's awesome. I watched that recently, but hey, that's a joke. Listen, Seeing Red. Return of the Joker with Seeing Red. Are you kidding me? Come on, bro. It just writes itself. It genuinely, in all earnest, writes itself. Make people choose between the two. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to do like multiple different polls now. The super poll wasn't very helpful because all you guys like each voted on 1 movie. It's so weird. Yeah, Nightwing's my favorite, like... Solid Snake, Darth Vader, Nightwing, Rocky Balboa. Those are my favorite characters. Comic book Rick Grimes. You ever heard of him? Those are my Mount Rushmore of fictional characters. 20 from Seeing Red. Thank you, bro. I wish it'd be so cool if every time Seeing Red donated, there was like a Joker laugh, like sound effect. Return of the Seeing Red. I never knew it, but Seeing Red at some point through his donation snuck a microchip full of data with his genetic material. So now at some point in the future, I'm not going to know it, but after Seeing Red dies in glorious battle, he will return. Seeing Red with the 1999. What if Captain America was in the MGS universe? Cap's history merged with MGS. Oh, and then Wilmer. Wilmer with the 50. It's kind of pink now that I look at it. I guess maybe it's not purple. I don't know. Is that like a Windows 11 thing? But that's exactly what I wanted. I appreciate that. The pink dono. Pink dono hits different. Thank you, man. I will address Seeing Red first. And then I am going to talk about this dono. Don't worry, Common Writer. I'm going to have your dono on screen. Okay. If Captain America was in the MGS universe, Cap's history, that would be really cool. You know, something about Metal Gear is obviously it's written from the perspective of a Japanese guy. So, I mean, the boss is probably like the most Captain America-esque character, and she is kind of up, like her and Solid Snake are the two moral authorities of the franchise. So the boss is very patriotic. She loves America. She loves what America represents. She loves liberty. She loves the ability to choose. So that would actually be pretty sick. Imagine the boss and Cap, because they both fought in World War II. They both totally believe in the truth of America rather than the political America as it exists as a set of political aspirations or like talking points. So that would be pretty sick to see those two characters interact. But assuming he got unfrozen, it obviously depends. But like in the MCU, for instance, that has like a firm time scale or like timeline rather, like dates. Whereas in the comics, it's obviously fluid. Like Cap getting thawed out, it happened in the 60s simultaneously as 2000 or whatever at this point. But in the MCU, he got thawed out in like 2010, 2011, I think. So that would be like between MGS2 and 4. So Cap would probably get himself involved with like the final defeat of the Patriots. He'd probably be there with with Snake Squad taking down Liquid Ocelot. That would probably be the timeline there. I feel like Snake would be pretty cynical of Cap because Snake just is not. He's not patriotic. He doesn't like America, and America as it exists in Metal Gear, and it may exist in the real world, is like an algorithmic, like consciousness that is lost control and is like eating itself alive, and the vector by which it sustains itself becomes conflict. So I don't know, why would you be patriotic about that? And he was like a clone of the government. Like he didn't ask to be born. They basically just like they did everything they could to mitigate his own free will. So I feel like Captain America would be like, Snake would turn his nose up at that, but I'm sure Cap could endear himself to Snake's cynicism. But no, that would be cool. I feel like that's how they'd intertwine. Is you get Captain America and World War II at the boss, the two most patriotic characters, and then Cap gets frozen. Maybe the boss was even there. Maybe the boss like tried saving Cap, but he got frozen. And history like looks fondly on Cap, looks fondly on the boss. And then maybe Cap even would have like taught the boss something like martial arts wise or fighting ability. Maybe the boss would be like, oh, maybe using a shield is cool, and then that would be passed down to Naked Snake and then Solid Snake. Something like that could be kind of cool. But then by the time you get to MGS4, Cap would probably be part of the squad there. Thank you, Seeing Red, for the 20. And then Wilmer with the 50. Thank you, man. Thank you for the big 50. Barbara with Bruce or Slade with Tara. Oh, my God. Listen, at least Barbara is an adult. Oh, man. At least Barbara is an adult. Do I need to say more about that? Like, jeez, bro. I'll say this. It's two things because this is the angle I'll go into more detail. I think Bruce Timm and company, if I had to guess, it's like Bruce Timm, James Tucker. I think those two, they have a Batman fixation. Bruce Timm for sure, and I think it probably is fetishistic. I think it is a fetish, because if you're like, Batman's the coolest guy ever, and then you're Bruce Timm, and Bruce Timm loves drawing female characters, you can't deny that is sexual. Like, he's basically a pinup artist. That's kind of his trade. That's kind of his skill set. is he has his art style, and most of what he does is like pinup art of these characters. And he particularly likes, you know, super heroines. So it's like, okay, you have that angle, and it's clearly a little bit fucking weird, right? It's clearly like he thinks he's Batman. And even with Bruce Timm was like, I'll never kill off Bruce Wayne. That's why Bruce Wayne is still alive in Epilogue and Batman Beyond. He's like 99, 100 years old. And he, you know, it's not, they don't have it in them. They're like, we'll never kill off Bruce Wayne under any circumstance. Like, there is no reality where they would ever do that. They would never commit to that. And then you look at like what they did with Terry, and I think it's pretty lame. I actually don't think that's like cool. I don't know. It's take it or leave it, I guess. I'm not like super passionate about it one way or the other, but I do think it's probably, I don't like the decision they made with Terry to keep it vague, but that still also comes across as like, okay, you just love Bruce Wayne a little bit too much. Like, you kind of don't see, you know, the merit in other characters equally as with Bruce Wayne. So I think that also informs the whole Batgirl thing. But then you look at Return of the Joker and Batman Beyond as a whole, and it's like, this is a bad timeline. Like, the DCAU is a bad timeline. It is. Like, it's not ideal. I mean, you look at like the Justice League and Batman Beyond, and that's set after JLU, and you're like, why are there only like 6 heroes again? Like, what happened? Something must have happened to dissolve like faith in the Justice League, you know? And like, where's Barry Allen? Where's John Stewart? These characters should not be dead by now. Like, Bruce Wayne's still alive. You know, Wally West is like a good bit younger than Bruce Wayne in the DCAU. Like, where's Wonder Woman? Like, why is she not a member of the Justice League? We never see her on the Justice League Beyond like team. We do in the comic books, but as far as like Bruce Timm envisioned, it is a dark timeline. It is like an imperfect, not good timeline. So, and you know, it adds drama. I think their hand was forced to make that show in a lot of ways. They're like, we want a young Batman show, and they're like, well, when Bruce is a young man, he's not Batman. He has no rogues gallery, so we can't do that. So they did the future. And I think it's like, in most storylines, especially with comic book media, you never get to that point. Like Kingdom Come is an example where like the whole point is let's explore the generational reaction that would exist between the Justice League and whatever comes after, right? Whatever comes after. So unless your hand is forced into telling those stories, or that's the whole point, then usually they do give you like a ride off in the sunset. You know, like I think if it was just Batman the Animated Series, then Justice League, JLU, and then it's over, and then they're like, oh, let's do a glimpse of the future, it would not look anything like Batman Beyond. Like, you probably would have, like, I don't know, you probably would have Barbara and Dick Grayson. You probably would have, like, whatever, Tim Drake becomes Batman or something. Like, you probably would do those things. You would have the Justice League, like, all their descendants showing up and being on the team. So, and they kind of are already doing that. Like, when they revisited Batman the Animated Series for the Adventure Continues comics, that's Paul Dini, that's Alan Burnett. Those are, you know, alumni of the Batman Animated Series, JLU, etc., the DCAU creators. They just ignore Batman Beyond. They have Dick with Barbara again. They just ignore it, you know? So, That's how I feel about that. And then, I mean, Slade and Terra, yeah, it's like, do I really need to go into why that's cursed? The weird distinction that they made at the time was they're like, nah, Terra is like more evil than Slade. Like, Slade in that book is like, I think she's playing us. Like, to Wintergreen, his like butler. He's like, I think she is in control actually, and this is a problem. Like, we created a monster and I can't control it anymore. So, I mean, the whole story is obviously fucked up. Like, that's a fucked up. I don't think, I mean, it's not a bad story. I mean, I think the Judas Contract's one of the best DC storylines, but it is dark and depraved what the villain does. But I do think that's kind of an interesting dynamic, is like exploring like this evil girl. I don't know. You guys know what I mean? That's what I'll say. For $50, that's what I'll say about that question. But no, yeah, Terra and Slade is way worse. Way worse. How do you think Batman's story should end? I like kind of Tom King's version where he dies surrounded by all of his loved ones. You know? That's the ideal. To think that miraculously Batman makes it through and then he dies surrounded by his loved ones. You know, I think that's what I most want to see. Anecdotes, parts out of context. How do I delicately answer that $50 dono? Who's Marvel's Trinity? Probably Cap, Iron Man, Thor at this point, but honestly, it's probably Iron Man, Spider-Man, Hulk, or or Spider-Man, Wolverine, Hulk. I would say Spider-Man, Wolverine, Hulk is that's my heart Trinity. I agree, Bruce should die with friends and family around. Yep. That's what you want to see, bro. That's the good, uplifting storyline that you want to see. That's the ending that I think Batman deserves. Tom King has an interesting backstory. I want to say his like mom. I mean, his mom was like a Hollywood kind of executive type. I could be wrong, but this is like stuff that I've heard from interviews when my brain was more so looking for power scaling statements. But I think his mom was like a Hollywood executive. And then after 9/11, he joined the military or whatever, or the government. I don't think he was. I think he was in the CIA, stationed in Iraq, but he might have also been like in the military, like a soldier. But either way, and then he kind of, I think once he got out of the military, he went to comics. But he had been writing like, I guess, prose fiction's the term. But yeah. I'm just glad no one ever shit talks the Grayson series, bro. Like, people will drag Tom King's name through the mud, be like, he's a baby killer, he's this, he's that. His Wonder Woman sucks, he's a misogynist. I'm just like, dude, no one ever talks shit on Grayson. They never do it. It's crazy. Batman should die by Harley Quinn gun? Oh my god. That's crazy. What's your superhero trinity? Like my top 3 favorite superheroes? I don't know, dude. I don't know. I haven't. It's hard to get. It's hard to gauge. Like, you made this tweet. You wrote this tweet. I can read the words, but are you sane? Like, are you completely all put together, or is there like a deeper thing here? Like, you know, I don't know. I don't get hating any comic book writer. Like, they write, it's comic books, man. Like, come on, bro. Honestly, probably Captain America. I think Nightwing and Captain America would get along well. I think Nightwing and Cyclops would have a lot to relate to and talk about. I think Nightwing is like, if you read like Dark Crisis, and I was looking up interviews for that, like the behind the scenes or whatever, the intention behind that event recently. And the idea with Dark Crisis is Dick does not think Batman is dead for good reason, but he uses that justification. He uses that to justify not stepping up. Like, he's like, if I step up, I'd have to believe my dad is dead, which I don't want to do. Like, I think he's going to come back and it's going to be fine. I'm not going to have to deal with it. And then it's also like, if you read his interaction with Alan Scott, I think his arc in Dark Crisis is kind of, it's what Spider-Man needs to hear to an extent, because people talk about, oh, he's the greatest hero. He's got like the most potential. He's going to be a legend into the future, but he just doesn't ever tap into that. Whereas with in the case of Nightwing, like, that kind of was the theme of Dark Crisis. Yeah, my evil twin. What's up, F-Key? Toa is the strongest in fiction? Probably not. I don't know all of fiction, but I would presume that there's a verse stronger than anything in Marvel. I think most people assume that he'd get along with Daredevil, but I don't disagree. I don't hear a lot of people talk about Cap and Cyclops. Yeah, only in his head. Like, Spider-Man needs a pep talk to be like, listen, dude, you could be the next Captain America, but like, why are you couch surfing, and why are you like so like lame right now? I don't get it. Nightcrawler, yeah, circus guys, that'd be cool. That'll be a neat angle. I don't know why Nightcrawler and Daredevil haven't linked up more. I don't know why that hasn't happened. Cap trying to choke out Cyclops. Come here. Batman versus Homelander. Yeah, probably. You're probably right. Homelander's kind of a fraud. Nobody likes Homelander. Everyone thinks Homelander loses and sucks. It's crazy. Everybody's like, he's well written. We love him. He's a great villain. He's a great like antagonist, but they also just think he sucks. It's really funny. Like, no one ever says he's poorly written, but they just all agree he's ass. It's funny. Do you think Nightwing would get along with everyone in Dragon Ball? I don't know. I haven't thought about that. Spidey editorial. I mean, the Paul era seems over, but MJ might get a new boyfriend or something soon. You know, you just never know. You just never know. I feel like that Damien team, I don't know what you mean by that. Like, new characters that they say are from the future that are inspired by Nightwing. Closeted Spider-Man fanboys. Electro versus JJK. I haven't scaled JJK. Nightwing and Punisher. Yeah, I agree. The Paul era will rise again. MJ not with Peter. No, they haven't been together in years. You poor man. Paul's an established character. God. Paul. Mary Jane has kids with this dude named Paul, bro. Well, I think the kids recently disappeared, right? Dude. I'd have to think about who those characters would be. You godless being? Oh my god. Yeah, it is. I mean, I know it wasn't their biological kids. Yes, I agree. I understand. That would be next level. They knew there was no coming back from that if they did that. The Riddler versus Reed Richards. Tom King said Riddler's smarter than Batman, so take that for what it's worth. Found him in some rubble. Free children unlocked. Fatherhood and motherhood enabled. $10 from Big Fella. With an honestly ridiculous question. No, man. No. I'm not gonna do that. I'm not some little guy here. I'm a real person. Okay, I don't do things just for your amusement. I'm not gonna give you that satisfaction of ding-dong ditching a Marine with nothing to lose, okay? Thanks for the $10, though. I appreciate you, big fella. Glad I'm a Riddler fan. Great action. Oh, a Rider fan. Anti-Galactus suit. Yeah, it's a different type of intelligence. Reed's intelligence is more combat applicable. Who's a better villain? I don't know. I like Zoom a little bit more, but Reverse Flash is probably just too classic and too ingrained. He uses more stories. But I like Zoom. I'm talking about the comics, of course. I haven't really watched the Flash show at all. Dude, you're like missing out. Flash is peak. All 9 seasons are peak, said no one. No social intelligence? He bagged a baddie. He's got 2 kids. I mean, science riz. Outsmarted by Light Yagami. Yeah, that Marine might be a Batman fan. Might be a Batman fanboy. It's not worth the risk. Favorite character? I would not do that. I would actually not do that. Whenever I hear like potential children names, I just think of how they might get bullied. Like, I'm like, is this name bully proof? And there's probably not a single bully proof name, but I do think about that. Thank you guys, thank you. I did sneeze, it's true. I did sneeze. Huh. Don't worry, everyone. That was a sneeze. Now I've been thoroughly blessed, so that part of my soul will be retained. We all here defeated the devil. You will not get that part of my soul. Your favorite character? Probably of all time at this point, it probably is Nightwing. That's crazy. Your cousin is crazy. That's next level. I could never. I could never. Bully proof. Gogeta. Naming your kid Gogeta? Yikes, bro. That's insane. This is my son Gogeta. Everyone in class, be nice to my son Gogeta. Paul, lol. Man, how funny would it be if Paul was like, somehow he took off with normies? Like, people are just like, no, Paul, like, I never was interested in Spider-Man, but I heard that they made Paul, so I started reading. And, like, all diehard comic fans, like, everyone you know, everyone in, like, in this chat, everyone across YouTube is like, what is going on? Like, why? Why are people loving Paul? It doesn't make sense. Yeah, John works. John's a strong name. It's a biblical name. Big Boss's name is John. Don't slanderize me like that, General Shepard. If not, oh man, that's terrible. If Nightwing got done that dirty, I mean, here's the thing: is Nightwing is like so goated that Dan DiDio hated him and tried to kill him every chance for 20 years straight, and it didn't take. Like, there's still peak stories and all that time. Like, Dan DiDio was like, "We gotta kill this guy, bro. We gotta kill him," and then instead he became Batman. Like, Dan DiDio like ran all of DC and was like, man, we gotta kill Dick Grayson in Infinite Crisis, man. He's gotta go. And the writers are like, no. And instead they made him Batman. So, like, I think Nightwing just, the influence he has over editorial. He has influence over editorial. Like, they're like, my hands are tied. I have to make him Batman. Like, that's basically what Dan DiDio did. Like, that's basically what he was saying. My hands are tied. I wanted to kill him, guys, but I had to make him Batman. It was just right there. It was just right there. Paul is a biblical name, I guess. That's also true. It's just too much to get into at this hour, the whole Paul thing. We personally all have had our fill of it, so Vegito. I block out the haters. I stay in my lane, I grind, I rise and grind, I block out the haters, okay? That's what we do. That's what we do around here. 30-year-old divorced bum. I need one more fat dono. Come on, man. Come on, guys. One more fat dono. I would never name my kid Gohan, Japanese for rice. Yeah. Videl is kind of a cursed name as well, when you really think about it. Ultimate Spidey? I don't know. I think it's good. Honestly, a beginning, middle, and end. They had an end in sight when they started with the Ultimate line. So, once it's finished, I'll probably sit down and read all of it. I was thinking of picking it up and going through, but like catching up, maybe I'll do it. Now, come on, bruh. Can't do a little e-begging around here without being compared to a complete degenerate. You sound like a Giga Chad. Thanks, bro. Thanks, man. That's the nicest thing anyone's ever said to me. I don't read Absolute or Marvel. Richard Bruce Comics, lol. Richard. Hello, Richard. Vegito slander. Ew. Vegito is the coolest. E-begging is heckin' valid. That's what I'm saying. Every once in a while. I've asked so far for 2 donos. I've asked for 2 donos. Look at all the donos that people are just willing to give me without asking. I can't ask for 2? Come on, eh? Nothing wrong with it. I'm entertaining, okay? I can ask. E-begging. Heckin' valid. Clyde's voice. I toss and turn. Imagining being anywhere near Australia. Thanks for the 2 bones, Common Writer. Thoughts on Stephanie Brown? She's alright. She's alright. I think she's very underused. I liked the recent Batgirls book. And I read Batman Eternal. But, I mean, even with that said, she's hella underused. In Post-Crisis, I mean, I like the idea of her becoming Batgirl, but that also... It was a big sacrifice, like... Stripping of Cassandra of Batgirl and then making her Black Bat is just bizarre. But... it is what it is. I think Stephanie Brown had like a pretty strong core concept, and then once they ran that dry, she was kind of just left up to editorial to do whatever. And they're like, well, if we make her Batgirl, then it'll be more profitable. Like, we can either have her in nothing, show up every once in a while in like Robin's book. Maybe you could have put her on the Teen Titans or something. I think there's a lot of young heroes that have not been on the Teen Titans that, especially with DC as it is now, like there's no teen team. And I think that's just really weird. I don't think you have to just, you know, do... I want to see a whole new team. And not like Damien's terrible team. I mean like a whole team out of pre-existing cool young characters that are running around. I guess Stephanie was a member of Young Justice when Bendis was writing it, but Bendis just fell off. Bring Young Justice back. We do need a teen team. We do need a young... Like, that bracket right now is super valuable to DC, and it's vacant. It's really bizarre. Cassandra Cain, Damien? Maybe. I feel like that would be like fire and oil. I don't know. Gasoline. Yeah. This Stephanie off-screen, off-panel breakup is a modern tragedy. They're probably like 19, TBH. The hell is Bernard? I don't know. Sideways is cool. I wish I got more Sideways. No one knows who Bernard is, man. He just shows up and just has no character. Who the hell is Bernard is a good question. Bernard goes in, Bernard goes out. You can't explain that. We need Static Shock back in main continuity. It's crazy. Static Shock, Jaime, Sideways. That'd be cool, man. I think Monkey Prince is a teenager. Get him on there. Put fucking John Kent on the team. I'm sorry. Like, what is he? He's supposed to be like 19, right? Who cares? Who cares, bro? He's a teenager, man. But he's on the Secret Six? Like, what are we doing? Why is John Kent on the Secret Six? What's going on? You probably could not pay me to read that book. Honestly. And I'm enjoying, I think DC's like super hit its stride. Like DC's in a really good place right now. They have a lot of good books. And a lot of good team books. Birds of Prey is good. Justice League Unlimited's fun. But the Secret Six, bro. You couldn't pay me. Couldn't pay me to read that. Connor Kent is very different in the books, but he is cool. He's got a different flavor to him. His arc is really good in Post-Crisis. He goes from like super confident, like braggadocious, you know, I'm Superman now. Like he wants all the fame and attention that being Superman affords him, and then his identity is like brought into question, and then it shakes up his confidence, and then being on the Teen Titans gives him a family, gives him a home. There are obviously shades of comic book Superboy in Young Justice. Some similar plot threads are tugged on a bit. Yeah, Wilmer, thanks for the donos. I'm probably about to wrap up here soon. But thanks for stopping by. Thanks for the support, man. It means a lot. I appreciate you. Yeah, I think they were honestly just chasing headlines with that one. With the Tim one. Because just nothing substantive has come from it. I think it was just a cash grab. Or, you know, they just want let's get the New York Times or whatever talking about our book, talking about our comics. We gotta do something. That's really how it landed for me. Oh my god. Tim's cool, but yeah, he's basically just a nothing at this point. It did seem like, if you want to be a cynic, they did pick the Robin they had. Because James Tynion, he was writing really good Tim Drake stuff in Rebirth. And he revealed recently, or you know, after the fact, he's like, yeah, the word was from editorial, no Robins. Like, Dan DiDio just didn't want any of it. He just didn't want any of them. He hated Dick Grayson. He hated all of them. He was sick of all of them. So they're like, got nothing to do, whatever. Thank you, Andre. I appreciate you. Yeah, I'll talk to you later, Common Rider. Barb and Supergirl? Not really. Dan DiDio is a menace. Yeah, he had a vision for DC that was not very conducive to a lot of the writers and a lot of the fans. I think DiDio, he has a likable quality. There's just something likable about him, though, to me. He just seemed very down to earth. And he would write like little... Like, he would write, why did they bring back Barry Allen? Like, why were they doing that? He would write like a couple paragraphs about why they made that choice, and he'd be very forthcoming. He wrote that as well about when Dick was becoming Batman. He talked about like, yeah, I wanted to kill him in Identity or in Infinite Crisis, but thank God I didn't, because this is way better. This is peak. But he's a goofy guy. He's you know, it is what it is, but it's funny because people all think it's like post-Crisis was peak. But DiDio, that was basically all him. And then Rebirth, a lot of people look on Rebirth fondly. But I don't know. Maybe he got drunk with power or something, or he just, because 5G, all that shit would have been way too much. Way too much. Yeah, he wanted him to become a super spy because he figured no one would read that. He just figured no one would read a book called Grayson where Nightwing is not Nightwing, and he's not. No, he was fired years after Grayson. He was fired years after Grayson. He was fired in like 22. Drake was a nightmare. I don't know what the hell they were thinking. Bendis be Bendis. But yeah, it's really more like DiDio gets fired and then Tom Taylor does his Nightwing, and it's like, okay, this character has basically been deprived of fan service for decades, so let's just make something that is like fun to read and constantly like in fan service, and let's get like a awesome artist on it and a top billing writer and who loves the character. You can critique it all you want. You can maybe say it's overrated, but regardless, it did put Nightwing back on the map in a big way. Maybe for the first big time, honestly. Thanks, Vanilla. Thank you. Appreciate that. Thank you for stopping by. Todd. Waiting on Todd. My favorite DC hero is Todd. Red Todd. Todd Hood. Yeah. I get that. I mean, Chuck Dixon set the bar for Nightwing, but I think the new run is really good. Has its own kind of identity while still feeling very in line with everything else. But we're coming up here on 2 hours, 2-hour stream. Very successful stream. I appreciate all you guys for coming out and donating. Appreciate you seeing Red, Dead Kev, General Shepard, Common Rider, NA55, Wilmer, Red Ops, or Oops, Red Oops, Big Fella, Sergeant Anthony, and of course, Villo. Appreciate you guys. Absolutely. And I will be continuing to edit this next video here. It's going to be a big one. It's going to be the longest video I have ever put out there. And I think you will all enjoy it. I think it's going to bang. With that said, I'll talk to a lot of you guys later in the Discord. Y'all have a good one.